The Charlotte Hornets have always been a team that has been put on the side and slept on for a long time, and when Kemba Walker left, all hope for the Hornets were lost. Going into last season, the Hornets were looked to be the worst team in the East, and people still make jokes about being on the Hornets, even though they are emerging as a really good destination to play in. I've covered this team, and while everyone else was saying the Warriors, Bulls, Timberwolves won the NBA lottery, I said the Hornets won it. This is a solid team, and I mentioned they will be laughed at, but there is really nothing to really laugh at when you see that they have young talent and a growing core right off the bat from when Kemba left. Yes, their history is let's just flat out say, their history has been bad. The Charlotte Hornets have been a laughingstock, but they are really building something big here. This is a team I've been looking at this season and I am extremely high on. They have young talent, mix of some defense and offense growing. Devontae Graham emerged this season as a good player for them, jumped into being a near 20 points per game guy, still has to improve on finishing at the rim and defending, but was a bright spot for them last season. PJ Washington was criminally underrated as a rookie and has some Paul Millsap in him. Malik Monk looks solid and is finding his worth in the NBA. Averaged 16 points in February on efficient shooting, looking more like a capable ball handler and rotation player. Still has more work to do on his game, but he is taking those strides. Terry Rozier is a good complementary piece, and the Martin twins. Cody Martin showed much more promise as a defensive guy, defensive stopper, someone who will do the dirty work for the team. Still want to see more from Caleb Martin. Haven't seen much from him last season. He played small games, but he can be a bright piece for this team as well. They got LaMelo Ball in the draft and Gordon Hayward, who they signed $120 million for 4 years. And yes, people will say they overpaid for Gordon Hayward, but it's a small market. You have to overpay for a guy like this and really give them some incentive to playing in that small market. And really, any all-star or small market like Charlotte has a chance to get, they will have to go full force on them and potentially overpay them. Like, Charlotte is the smallest of small markets out there, and I know some people aren't used to seeing those small markets sign all-star type free agents. Hayward is a 3-level scorer, a veteran, someone who can help LaMelo out, can create his own shots, can play make, shoot the 3, and is a good defensive player. He hasn't got the chance to shine because he had to play behind Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker. He averaged 17 points, 4 assists, and close to 7 rebounds with the Celtics last season on efficient shooting, and prior to Boston, Hayward was the man in Utah. He is an all-around type player. And the funny thing about this is that in 2014, Hayward was about to sign with the Hornets, but Utah matched his contract, so everything, I guess, comes full circle here. Obviously, Hayward has to stay healthy for this team, and that's the biggest thing you worry about him from the front office, but this is a guy who complements his team really well. They have some really low-key good playmakers, Graham, LaMelo, Hayward, PJ Washington, and it is a great situation for LaMelo Ball to thrive in. He is going to be given the keys to drive this team. He was scouted to be the best playmaker in the draft, and he has shooting, defense, and has pieces to look to in Devontae Graham and Gordon Hayward to help him out. LaMelo is really going to be a guy who finds shooters and just open up more of the offense for this team. I expect guys like Graham to get more catch and shoot shots, and Terry Rozier as well, and those guys are knockdown 3-point shooters. They re-signed Bismack Biyombo. Wish they could have upgraded that center out there, but he is still solid for them. Then they drafted a guy like Vernon Carey, a Duke product who is incredibly strong. He's around 270 pounds, can post up, show some shooting potential, and can rebound. A guy like that who can bang down low. And then they got guys like Jalen McDaniels, Grant Riller, and Nick Richards. This team is young. They are growing, and given in a year or so, will emerge as an Eastern Conference threat. This is a fun team. They finished 9th in the East last season, and even though they still have more growth to do, their future is really looking good with the pieces they have. Going into next season, I expect much more improvements, better offense from this team, and their defense to improve. They may be a sneaky borderline playoff team, maybe around a 9th, 10th seed, but they will show a lot of promise and a lot of fight, a lot of good offense. I could promise you it's going to be a lot of good offense next season. And I'm excited to see how their players develop because they have a beautiful young core, a very beautiful young underrated core. And even if that young core doesn't all come together, they are still young pieces to, if you want to make a trade for a star, they can. And that may be something the Hornets will have to look at in the future. But seeing all this young talent on this team and then having a veteran like Gordon Hayward, this is a team that's going to improve. This is a team that's going to get better. And this is a team that is really, really going to be fun. Charlotte, small market team, and I always root for those small market teams because you won't get that shine from anywhere else. And also, debatable because Atlanta's out there too. But Charlotte has the best jerseys in the league. Like, come on. Let's give them their props on that.